The Chicago Bears travel to Atlanta to take on the Falcons, the 3-7 Bears, the 4-6 Falcons. It's a hometown return for Justin Fields. Grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, taken just 7 picks after one. Kyle Pitts went to the Atlanta Falcons. This game might come back to haunt the Falcons for not drafting Justin Fields when they had the chance. They instead took Kyle Pitts in that same draft. But I digress. I'll let that haunt AJ's dreams and not mine. The Falcons are favorites here by 3 points with an over-under of 49. AJ, what are you expecting to see just in general in this matchup between the Falcons and the Bears?
You know, we've said this for the Falcons' last 3 or 4 games at this point now. This game should be over very quickly. It should happen to take an hour and a half because everybody is going to run the ball. That's what we expected the last couple of weeks. We saw a lot of that. I think we're going to see that again between the Bears and the Falcons. They're two of the more run-heavy teams in the league. The Bears have a 200-plus rushing yard game in 5 straight games. That's the second longest streak in the Super Bowl era in the NFL. And we know that the Falcons come out and they line up and they push behind that once upon a time putrid offensive line, and now not so putrid, just good enough to keep the run going. This is going to be a game where, for the Falcons, they're catching the Bears at a bad time. They're going to have to play damn near perfect football. We need another one of those outings by Marcus Mariota where the completions come aplenty. He's making quick, smart throws, and they're not heaving it down the field just at desperation. You know, those plays have to be, strung together by short completions and good runs and reason to make the defense respect the fact that you're moving the ball down the field. I expect this to be a run-heavy, gritty, ground and pound, which defense can play the best type of football game. And the defense that can hold best, because neither of these run defenses are fantastic, will be the one that comes out with this W on the other side.
Yeah, and talking about W's, the Bears have lost 3 straight games now. And Aaron, we've been high on the Bears in 3 straight losses. Like they've been losing, but it's been the way Justin Fields has been playing that we're like, okay, it doesn't matter if it's an L. This team is growing. They're building. They're getting Justin Fields involved more. They're basically finding what works for Justin Fields and going with it. But eventually you have to start winning in this league. And I know you're young, you're developing, and maybe not now. Like they're a young team. It's understandable. But Aaron, how do the Bears turn those L's into wins, especially in this matchup against the Falcons?
I don't know. First of all, my pick's wrong in the doc, so that's wrong. I put the wrong team. But okay, I'll go with it. I think the Bears, we talked about what the Bears have been doing. I don't think we've been impressed with the Bears. I think we've been impressed with Justin Fields. We've been impressed with the coaching because they're putting him in good situations to allow him to do what he does best, which is get outside the pocket, extend plays, and use his athleticism to be a better quarterback. And that's okay early in his career. That's what you want to do when you have a young quarterback that's still learning how to read defenses. But with that being said, I don't necessarily think wins and losses are important for the Bears this year. We know they're the void of talent. We know that they don't have the pieces around Justin Fields to actually be successful in this league right now. I think it's about the development of Justin Fields, and that's it. So I'm not looking for the Falcons, or I'm not looking for the Bears to go out there and just beat teams week in and week out. We saw it last week. Justin Fields plays great. They lose to Detroit. We saw it the week before. Justin Fields plays great. They lose to Dallas. Like, we've seen what the Bears are when Justin Fields plays great right now. He is just not enough to carry them because their defense is bad. They traded their 2 main defensive players. They got young guys on the back end, and the offensive line is still atrocious. And they've now lost Khalil Herbert. They don't have the wideouts outside of Darnell Mooney. Chase Claypool really hasn't ingrained himself yet into that roster. So I'm not looking for anything special from the Bears. I'm just looking for Justin Fields to continue to grow. And with that being said, I did put in the doc the Bears, but that's not what I meant to put in the doc. I thought I typed the Falcons, but I was half asleep last night coming from Atlanta. I have the Falcons winning this game. I know I messed you up, Vinny, already on game 1, but I do have the Falcons winning this game, not the Bears. I have the Falcons winning 27-24. The main reason why is at home. They're very similar teams, 2 top 5 rushing offenses. I like the experience of Mariota at home. I like Cordell Patterson to have a nice day here. And I just think there actually is more weapons on the outside for Atlanta in Kyle Pitts and Drake London than there are for the Bears. And just the way they run their offense. The play action game for Atlanta is really good at times. And I think it shows up in this game. I think the Falcons win this game 27-24. Sorry, I screwed up your graphic.
No, honestly, I was thinking about this last night too. And I'm like, I do in real life, in our broadcasting world, like you submit your picks and changes really that's it. Like once the show's made, the show is made. But as I progress through, there's a lot of the analysts that I work with that change their minds last minute. And I'm starting to think to myself, these scores that I make and the graphics that I make, it's okay to change. It's okay. Like it is okay to have a different thought than you had on Saturday morning when you're making these picks, or Saturday night when you're making these picks. You wake up and maybe you want to change it. I've been back and forth on this game with the Bears and the Falcons because it is a home game for the Falcons, and the Bears, I don't know if they're like, there's a reason why they're losing these games, and it's maybe because they're just not there yet. There's just a little bit more experience when you look at the Atlanta Falcons. I'm gonna just hold this down. I'm gonna lock my pick down. I'm not gonna waver on it. I'm gonna say the Bears win 31-24. I'm gonna keep it down on that and not play towards what you just said. Although it was very convincing, and I do think the experience is gonna matter in this game for the Falcons. But I'll give the Bears the win 31-24.
Yeah, I just the Bears have been hot over the last couple weeks. You're right, though, the close games that they're not really figuring out, and they're just kind of losing at the last couple minutes there. Last week was a division outing and a team that was really just fired up and hyped against the Detroit Lions, and they snuck out a one point win. Over the last couple weeks, the Bears have scored 31 points a game. I think something like that continues, giving up to the Falcons, who are only scoring about 16 points per game in their last couple outings. With one of the worst run defenses in the league, hopefully they get AJ Terrell back, which helps the offense of the Chicago Bears stay one-dimensional, and then you only really have to focus on the run. As we just talked about, there's not many outside threats for the Bears. But I do think this rushing game will be an issue for the Falcons, and they won't be able to score enough to keep it up with them. Still going to be a close game. That's what these teams do. But I got the Bears in this one 30-24, sadly.
I see what you did there. I am going to this game in a little bit of different capacity, though. I'm going as a fan. So I'm not covering the game. My son flies in on Saturday. I'm just going to go pick him up from the airport. We're going to go watch the Falcons Bears. Not that I'm a fan of either team, but just a fan of football. Going to go watch the game and hang out for a little bit. And then, so I don't think the jinx applies really at this one. Yeah, but I will be there. I
was looking at the other jinx. I'm still worried. I think I figured out how this one's going to work. The Bengals are going to escape it because they were on bye last week. And even though the Panthers carry on through a bye, there's another team they beat since that. So I think the Bengals escape it. The Falcons just played the Panthers. And if you just played the Panthers, you're destined to lose. And it's sad. It's sadness. Sadness.
Okay.